So I'm going to finish what I started.
Here, put it in.
Yeah, ain't nobody here right now just yet anyway. Philly cheesesteak combo.
You say you ain't like them that much, and now you want to switch it up, right?
Y'all want none of that nasty. Ooh, bacon 3 cheesesteak.
It's the same thing, ain't it?
I don't know. Just leave me alone.
You tripping.
This is a combo. You know what? This is just too much to know. Hey, y'all. I'll eat leftovers. I'll find something in here. Yeah, because I'm doing the Facebook Live. Your daddy's a punk. I was wondering he impregnated me. How y'all doing? I didn't mean to close it. Anyways, okay. I'm back. As you know, I've been starting some shit on the internet. My nose is itchy because I'm surrounded by 50 million herbs and roots, so I'm not picking my nose. I'm wiping my nose, okay? Especially Balm of Gilead. Y'all ever get some Balm of Gilead in your nose? So you ordered without me, you just forget it, okay?
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you serious right now?
Yes, that's fine.
You asked me to.
Girl, I'm messing with you. Leave me alone. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. Just want to make sure people get in the room. We got about 14 people here. I was talking earlier about doing magic, especially doing magic without divination. Really? Especially doing magic without divination. My daughters are, you can expect a bit of interruptions while we are in here tonight because the girls are, hey sis, one of my sisters I initiated with is on, hey, they're working on stuff for Sacred Water, so they are in here working away. My baby's is making oils and formulations and all that good stuff. And Sanaya came in here, my grandchild, and she wants to make stuff too, but we was getting ready to make confusion powder. And I said, baby can't make confusion powder. When I first started my nieces practicing, I taught them peaceful home powder. The 27-year-old, I sent him a picture yesterday. I sent him my profile picture yesterday, but I don't know about all that. Oh no, I'm getting, y'all all are encouraging me to be very, very bad, and I don't know. Hey, you the one told me he was cute.
I know, but
he was cute. He had a nice imprint too. He's been trying to get rid of y'all. He's been trying to come over here. But this is one thing I teach my daughters, and I think that we should all teach young women. When there's a gentleman caller and he wants to get the nappy dug out, he should have his own place. I should not have to vacate my premises in order for us to have a good time. Right. And when I was about to use the bad word, when a man doesn't want you to know where he lives and will not take you to his home, that means he a hoe. And, if you want to be a side chick, I have nothing wrong. I don't have no problems with side chicks, but understand what your place will be. That's all I'm saying. Everybody's rooting for the 27-year-old, but seriously, if you don't have a place where y'all can at least go and fuck, you need to find somebody else to fuck. Now, back to where I was earlier about divination. You all, magic is not a game. It's not a toy. It's as serious as any other form of spiritual commitment. So that means that you got to be about it. Not part-time. Voodoo is not a religion. Okay? Everybody wants to say it's a religion. Voodoo is a way of life. It's from the way you clean your house to the way you raise your children to the food that you eat. All kinds of things. Okay? The way you prepare your food, the food you stir the way you stir your food, with what hand you stir the food with, the direction in which you stir your food. That's voodoo. It's life. It's not a lifestyle. You don't choose voodoo. Voodoo chooses you. So when it comes to any type of magic, I don't care if it's Norse, I don't care if it's Kemetic, I don't care what it is, because the reality of the matter is these are all the same energies. This is science. Magic is science. Magic is alchemy. Okay? Prayer is a spell. I don't care what religion you slap it into. It is a spell. You are manifesting supernatural change over things that you cannot control. You are using the forces of nature to manipulate people, places, and things and situations to the ways in which you want them to occur. So, if that sulfur is in the bag there, did I use the rest in the hot foot powder?
I think I saw some.
Just look, it's in a bag, boo-boo. It's yellow, and it smells like rotten eggshells.
I know, that's why I said.
Well, why are you getting it? You pregnant. You ain't pregnant. Go get the sulfur out the thing. You know what it looked like. I'm going to need you to stop playing the magical dummy and go. I know, but you can get the sulfur. Are you making the confusion powder? Didn't I tell you? Oh, you getting it from me?
I'm getting the ingredients.
Okay, I need a mortar and pestle. We're making confusion powder. One of the lovely ingredients of my confusion powder is alum. You ever seen alum look like this? This is what alum looks like before it's powdered. It's what they actually, well, they use citric acid. I just tasted a little bit that was on my hands. It's like the stuff that you have on the outside of Sour Patch Kids. And it helps you, hey, cuz, my cousin Melissa's on here. So this is alum. This alum is used to shut people up. No, that's incense lighting powder. It's yellow. I think I used the rest. I can order more. Before we make that particular formulation, we can have the sulfur here in 2 days. But if there's no sulfur in there, and I probably did that because I've been going crazy, I made a batch of hot foot powder, and so it's in there. And so we may not have any more, and it's okay.
Oh, you have alum powder right here.
Yeah, I have alum powder. This is how most people see alum powder. It's powdered up. And since, you know, I'm doing this on the quick, which I don't have to because we got to wait for the sulfur now, you can put this in your mortar and pestle, and you can get this at your international store, or you can get it at bigliz.com. I hope I have it listed. Shuts people up. Yeah, I love tasting shit. Let me tell you something. My mentors had me taste some real black salt. Oh my God, that had to be the worst thing I'd ever tasted in the history of Negrodom, okay? So anyways, if there's no sulfur in there, that's self-lighting incense powder. You know what? Okay, throw it away because it smells like crayons. I hate the shit. I don't even use it. Toss it. Yeah, I told you it stinks. Why you gotta smell shit? See, we are never going to finish this conversation with these two in the room, y'all. But that's okay. What the word say? Well, the word of Yahweh, that's Vesta powder and saltpeter. Raise your children right, and they will never depart from it. Your drunk ass, remember to finish your order. Oh, you ordered it? Okay, you know I'm gonna throw you in a little extra, cuz. Man, that's my family is my smell work clients. Half of them think I'm going to hell, and I am not gonna taste shit. I'm not gonna taste shit. Just stuff that I know I can eat and not die. But that's a lot of people don't pay that careful attention to magic. You know, I'm always checking. You know, if I combine this herb and this root, will it kill me? Because there are some very benign herbs and roots on their own. Just write it on the board, baby. I'll get it. I'll order it tonight. And we'll just toss it in later. Don't make the oils yet until we can get the sulfur. Or we can just go up to Menards in the morning and get some. So, it's whatever. Yeah, they got sulfur there. Any good hardware store should have sulfur. And shit is a substitute for whatever. Yeah, I'm always tasting shit, showing shit. Because it's like, you know, I always, you going to hell with me? You know, we come from a family of people with psychic abilities and certain magical powers. It just, certain people chose not to use them. I was not given a choice. Trust me. I did not start practicing magic because I wanted to. It was, my cousin is on this Facebook Live with me, and she can tell you about the spirits that grew up with us. You know, we grew up around. And Melissa, she's on here. Trini said, hey, her and Rakia in here mixing it up. But, you know, we've forgotten the old ways. On an earlier post, we were talking about Christianity. People scared to let go of Christianity. And I it's just alcohol. You'll be fine.
Oh, man.
She just spilled a little bit. It's going to dry up in 5 minutes. Just get it off the wood floor.
Spill it on her foot.
Okay, so your foot's sanitized.
Her foot going to dry up.
You got a foot washing. There you go. So, we have forgotten that Christianity, if you go and you look at the evolutionary chart of religion, Christianity's in the upper third. And there are cascades of religions that came way before Christianity. Melissa said hello. Okay? Melissa said hello back. So, you know, yes, the energies of Christianity, those saints that they took our spirits from, they turned them into saints. They took the holidays. Everything in the Catholic Church came out of paganism. Why? Because, you know, how are you going to convert people to a religion if it's not something that they're used to or not something that's fun? So these energies, Ra, Alegba, Papa Legba, they all are the same energies. You know, when we're looking at sun gods, people often make comparisons between Horus and it's not always thievery and cultural appropriation. It's social adaptation as well. So where those concepts maybe originally have been adapted, taken, stolen, they have now been molded into things that we associate culturally with, and that's what religion is. It is the man-made way to explain the unexplainable. Spelling, as Sister Badu says, is a spell. Prayer is a spell. But what I was talking about earlier in my conversation before I had to go, because I had a magical mentoring session.
That bully girl.
Yeah. We were talking about wanting to go. I have people come to me every day and they want to do spell work. A lot of times they want to do spell work on someone. Okay? Not themselves. You know, the last thing folks thinking about in magic is self-improvement. And I keep trying to tell people that magic is 3 things. It is your medicine, it's your magic, and it is your mundane. The first 3 things in magic I teach people is CPR. Cleanse, protect, reverse. But before you can get to that stage, I was a diviner probably for about a good year before I started even making magical products. Now, we ain't even going to talk about doing workings, because up until the time I was initiated, I wasn't comfortable doing that for people. I believe in staying in my lane and learning and acting appropriately on the information that I've learned. So people just, and I see this in these Facebook groups. Facebook magic groups are the devil. I swear to God, they're the devil with the BBIL, devil. Okay, because you got people that are just like, I had something happen to me and blah blah blah. What should I do? And fools that know next to nothing about magic, the first thing that they're going to do is say, "Oh, goofer them." And I'm like, do you even know what a goofer is? You know that when you put goofer dust on somebody, you want them to die or wish they were dead. And sometimes a motherfucker needs to die, no doubt. You know, I keep telling people, if I had $1 for every time I asked my ancestors, could I kill somebody, I could at least take myself out to dinner. Okay? Yeah, Facebook magic groups will get you fucked up. Even the best ones. Like, I love the Witch's Brew. As a huge group, though. And what I love about Daisy's group is that if somebody comes in there on some dumb shit, they will snap right up and correct whatever. But there's so many posts every day that sometimes you might read something, you may not read all the comments, but you may read somebody's original post and get a real fucked up idea about magic or how to do a particular thing, okay? So, discernment. You need discernment in every single thing that you do. Which, hey, Tiffany, I want you to put a link to your Facebook page in the comments here. I want y'all to check out Tiff's Glam and Glitz. Tiff makes the most amazing silver and crystal jewelry. I have so many pieces of Tiffany's jewelry. It's amazing. I wish I was upstairs so I could show it to you. Maybe we'll have a trunk show online, Tiffany, with some of your stuff. So you can bring it on down and we'll do a Facebook Live. Bring it with you tomorrow if you're coming. So, last month for the Ohio Black Witch Circle, I taught divination. I taught playing card divination. Everybody went and got a deck of cards from the dollar store. They got some pens and markers and wrote down there, Tiff Glitz, go on there. She's got amazing jewelry. I spent time teaching them playing card divination. And, not everybody got that lesson. Okay? But what I'm trying to tell you is that before you start jumping off into magic, that's why when you want to be a part of a religion, usually, especially in ATR, you get a divination to find out where is Conjure Fest. I don't know. I'm going everywhere this year. I'm a little tired thinking about it, but we'll talk about that later. Divination. Divination is for a reason. There's a difference between meditation and divination. Meditation is looking inside yourself, grounding yourself, but divination is really receiving those messages from the outside. And you can't just do this on the fly. You have to, oh yes, I'm going to be at Conjure Fest in Detroit in August. Yes, I will be. Yep, Kenya's Festival, always. Yes. Okay, let me finish my point. You cannot be running around here throwing at people without divination. Because sometimes, as in the case of somebody I was talking to today, it's not a magical matter. In fact, you might do yourself a disservice by doing that divination. Magic is meant for when you have exhausted. Just think about it how, if you were Christians at one time, most of us, when we were dealing with our day-to-day lives, we may get up in the morning with a prayer, okay, you know, and what I found from most Christians is they forgot Jesus most of the week. They remembered him in church on Sunday, okay? Playing cards divination. I teach a class on playing card divination, Tiff. So, and hopefully I'll get that going again sometime this summer. But there's tons of links. Google is your friend. That's what I tell people. You know, research. Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's right, but it also doesn't mean that it's bad. You have to get books. I was just showing some books that I had from my friend Witchcraft, Spells, and Magic. This is more historical. I love this one. This is 3 books of occult philosophy by Agrippa. You know, this is, you know, more high level, what they call high magic versus maybe folk magic. But you should learn, number 1, the magic of your oppressors. Number 2, you should learn the magic of your ancestors, and that is all of them. So it would behoove you, and since all of this came out of Africa anyway, to study these things, okay? But, yes, most grandmothers would not let you use playing cards in the house, and it's not because of gambling. It's because they were originally divination tools that outdate the tarot by hundreds of years, centuries. So that's where playing cards started off. They started off as divination tools. They eventually became games. Just like everything. Black folks forever putting powder in their bed, baby powder. You taking notes? Powder in their titties, whatever. Back in the day, those used to be sachet powders, and they'd have different herbs and roots in them that would get different results. Okay? People don't use things and know their origins. You know, think about all the things that we do. Yeah, my grandma didn't allow cards in her house either. The only time my father was a Seventh-day Adventist would play cards was outside. My mama and grandmother would let them play on the porch, but they couldn't play them in the house. Okay? And so, and I'm restructuring the playing card class based on numerology, which is why I'm not teaching it right now, because I've had the spirit come and give me some information. And I was like, oh my God, that makes sense. So, but getting back to divination. Don't be out here just throwing. Don't. Now, there are some people in this world that don't need tools. There are times when I don't need tools. There are times when I need tools. Happens, okay? But for the most part, especially if you're new to the practice, you're going to need a little guidance. And I don't like it. If you want to practice magic for yourself, I don't think that you should have to run to me or another professional diviner every time you need to divine about something. People used to say, oh, you shouldn't divine for yourself. Talisa, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name right. Therese, she's really big with Pantheon, and I went to her lecture when I was there in 2014. And she was like, if you can't read for yourself, who can you read for? You know, part of being involved in the occult is getting down to the truth of things, including the truth of you, including being honest with yourself about your shortcomings, your failures, your prejudices, all of that. So you should know all of that about you before a single card is dealt. I put up a picture of that little baby with the old lady wigs. When you ask the cards over and over again what to do, and they keep telling you the same thing. You know, so as long as you are not trying to fool yourself. If you're hearing a weird sound in the background, that's my youngest daughter making oils. So you want to be sure of the things that you're doing. It's just like anything. When you were on a bike and you didn't know how to ride a bike, you had training wheels. Before that, you had a tricycle. So there can't. No, those are not Campbell labels. Working roots.
The male fucking labels.
What are you? Oh shit! Damn it! Really?
And look at what happened right here.
Okay, just throw them away. I don't want to look at it. And that's because they're curved. Thought they're printed What, can't the oil labels on our mailing labels? They do look the same. That's what you got. That's why you got to make sure you look for that cut for the 4. Remember I said it's really important before you start printing to check the labels that are in the printer.
I did check those. I'm about to eat and then I'm going to go to bed.
Well, you've made about 20 oils or more. I'm very proud of you.
I'm through the seas.
You're through the seas? All right. You do that, oil woman. So the bottom line is, you just don't start anything like that. Okay, I know you brothers have a hard time with this. I be arguing with Kia's boyfriend because he don't never want to read directions. Okay, you know, but there are certain things that you follow certain steps. Now, let's think about that. The pretty pussy candle. It depends on what color you get and what you put on it. So whatever you're doing. Like, for example, when I was going to get those windows, the promise of dick was not enough for me to spend $7,000 on windows. I sure enough went into my room, around the corner, and dealt me some cards to see whether or not I should be getting these windows for my house. And the answer was yes. I divined on it. I divined on buying new windows. So if you're going to throw at somebody, learn a divination method. There are some people who have the innate psychic skill that just know. Spirit walks with them. You, girl, you know you could take my class. Quit talking to me. Melissa talking about some teach me. Whatever. You have to learn a divination method. If they were not in these traditions, they wouldn't be here. There is a difference. That's really a delivery guy. That's not the spirits ringing the doorbell this time. So... yes, he could get it. He might get it. But we're not here to talk about white boy, okay? Odd. Racially ambiguous white boy. We're not here to talk about him right now, y'all. We are here to talk about divination. You know what? I'm going to start pre-recording because y'all keep interrupting me and I can never finish my post. Well, go chase his ass down to ask him where your drink is. You better hurry up. That's not running. These kids do not know how to hustle. At all. Yes, ambiguous boy. That's his nickname, y'all. We're going to call him ambiguous boy. I don't know about him. I really don't. Because, you know, not usually attracted to non-black men. But, you know, it just might make an exception. I don't know. I love oracle cards. In fact, I wish I had my box. Can somebody bring me my box of cards? Not you, Ricky. It's too heavy. Jenny, can you bring me my box of cards?
Oh my God, she's locked out.
She's locked out. Great. Well, get my box of cards on the back. I got to get a new door handle. It sticks, and so once you get out, you ain't getting back in. But I had more important things to buy, like herbs and roots, and we got a garage door. It works. So in any case, he right, you had your drink. Give me my divination box. I want to show them some of my tools. Most of them can be purchased at biglizconjure.com. What I don't have down, it's on the piano bench. What I don't have downstairs with me is the Dust to Onyx deck. That is an amazing deck. I have that upstairs hidden in my special place because it's the first edition. That is a tarot divination system based on black... Okay, that is, okay, can we deal with that later? Just, let's not fuck with it right now. I understand. We've got to clean the heads on the printer. You're going to have to straighten out the labels so they don't curl up. It's a long thing. Don't worry about it. Just leave the oils here. I'll put the labels on it. We'll figure it out later. I told you, I don't even know. This is my box of divination cards. Okay? People ask me what I read. Every damn thing. My master's degree is in literature. I read everything, including cards. It's not the cards. You have to understand that. It is not the cards. The one thing that I asked my mentor, because I was learning the cards, and I asked Doc, I said, you know, how do I really connect with spirit while I'm reading? And I did do a video on the Dust to Onyx deck. And he says, look past the cards. And I was just like, you know what, Melissa? You act like you are not in my customer group. This is my cousin, y'all. Say hello to Melissa, who incidentally looks like a white woman. People always want to make judgments based on what people look like. Melissa black, just as black as I am. I'm 76% African, and people don't believe me. But you can get any type of card. So, oh God, this box is heavy. I wouldn't let my pregnant daughter pick it up. Look, this is the collection. Okay? And there's only a few tarot in here. And there's only a few things. Cutting trays. It's over there. You talking about the cutter? Okay, you guys gonna cut? This is a cool tarot deck that I got. That is they're giant cards, but I don't like the art. No, I got a new one. Can y'all just leave me alone for 15 fucking minutes? I understand that. Take a break. So these are really lovely cards, but I don't like them because I just don't identify with the artwork. So you can get giant tarot cards. You can get oracle cards. You can use playing cards. You can read dice. You can read runes. It don't matter what the divination method is because that is not what is important. Okay? Yeah, these kids, they driving me crazy. Yes, Tiffany, you went and got that deck? Oracle cards, like the Gospel of Arcadia. Okay? Or is it Aradia? Aradia. This is my first tarot deck, the little African tarot. Couldn't read these worth shit, but I liked them because they were cute. There's all different types of decks. There's Lenormand. There's this one, Botanical Inspirations. And like I said, most of these you can get on my website. These cards, I love them because they talk about things emotionally that you should be addressing. I love to give New Year's readings with these cards because, for example, if I pull the daffodil, that's about rebirth and new beginnings. How can you continue to evolve by starting something new or being born again, like when you go and initiate and you're baptized and you're born again? One of my first decks was the Deviant Moon Tarot. I love that. But my very first deck that I read with really hard was the Quick and Easy Tarot. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the meanings are on the cards. And then when I was training and teaching myself to read, it was very important to know what these cards meant. But I have a Black Excellence deck of playing cards that I love. I'll show those to you guys in a second. But the point that I'm trying to make with you about divination tools is that it really doesn't matter because the diviner is you. You're going to have to, if you have the talent, and a lot of us do, some of us don't, you have to learn how to tap into psychic abilities. Because sometimes the cards will fail you. Sometimes the cards will leave you confused. But if you are used to having that relationship with your ancestors and your spirits, they will give you a word. They will give you the message that you need. So there's no real excuse. And right away, that was drawn by a Black woman. So, Pamela Coleman Smith, a Black gay woman, drew all of the pictures on the Rider-Waite Tarot, and I will use it to the day I die because of that. But like I said before, it's not the tool. You're going to have to read past the cards. You have to tap into spirit. You have to have the ability to receive messages from spirit. I don't understand these people in these groups talking about they don't talk to spirits when they read. Well, then you're just a card reader. I'm a diviner. So the next question is card reading in the occult, divination and the occult. I don't care if you throw in Bones, Obi, Dilagoon. I don't care. If you are reading with those tools, they're going to lead you to your spiritual work and or magic. Some people cannot divine. I can't sing. I can't dance. I'm clumsy as fuck. But I can write, and I can read, and I can divine, and I can work a root. Also understand that everybody has different talents. So if you don't have divination skills, don't feel bad, but make sure you're working with somebody who does. I can't imagine somebody that has the ability to practice magic who cannot divine, because both of those involve connections with spirit. And what I'm telling you is that you just can't come and buy products off of my shelf and just start doing magic. It's like driving without a steering wheel or driving blindfolded. Because you may think that the magic that you're supposed to do is to get your man back so he leaves that whore alone. But maybe the magic that you should be doing is loving yourself enough to kick that motherfucker out. To put him out of your life. But you don't know that if you don't divine. And you don't know that if you divine and you're still lying to yourself. So that, kids, is why I was coming to talk to you about magic. But I really do love these books. I think this is so funny. I think this is Lisa Ray, who's the Queen of Clubs. Somebody made this Black Excellence deck. I'm trying to figure out who this king and queen is who are sitting here. I'm still trying to find all these out, but there's God, is it Lupedia? How do you pronounce her name? I always read it, but never pronounce it. The beautiful African girl from Black Panther. She's the Queen of Diamonds. The face cards are the great ones. These are not so great, but I loved the fact they've got Michelle Obama in here. This looks like a noob for the King of Diamonds. Which, if you know anything about fraternities and sororities, and the more you learn about African traditional religions, the more you learn about the origins of sororities and fraternities. They all tie together, but here's my personal favorite, the Queen of Hearts, Michelle Obama. But you will find out different things about the things that connect spirituality and Black people. Like putting baby powder in your bed. No, I got this Black Excellence from mycarddex.com. Black Excellence. One of my playing card students referred that to me. But I'm going to need you all to take this very seriously. Magic can be fun. I like doing different things with magic that are fun. I like doing things with magic that make happiness. In fact, that's my primary reason for practicing magic, so that I can be happy and that the people around me can be happy. That we can live our best lives and be the most woke possible. But in those instances when you do have to strike, you need to know how to strike. It's like picking up a gun to kill someone and shooting at the sky. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you should be doing. So that means you got to divine. Some way, somehow. And like I said before, there are some people who can just divine. They can pick it up and they can just come to them. And it has happened to me and it happened before. But it wasn't before I started reading cards and I was told that I was going to have to psychically look past them, channel through them, open myself to messages from spirit, that I became that on-spot diviner. Now, I also will say this. That the spirits were very, very good to me, because even in the early days when I was developing those abilities, they were giving me messages. I've never had a client come back and tell me I was wrong. But what I ain't gonna do is advise you to go walk out into the street without looking both ways. So you gotta think. I don't talk about karma, because that's not what karma means. What the New Agers talk about, that's not karma, that's reciprocity. But you do get what you give. And if you're out here doing the wrong type of magic for the wrong reasons, it's going to backfire on you in some way, somehow. I believe in righteous magic. Now, righteous doesn't always mean benevolent magic. But I believe in doing things that are justified according to the situation. And the only way I can judge whether or not something is justified is to talk to my ancestors and to talk to my spirits and to ask them, what should I do? To humble myself as a human being and a practitioner and not a god. And I don't think that people are willing to do that. They think it's fun. They've seen the television shows, or they've hung out with people like me, and they've seen the advantages of magic in our lives. But what they're not accounting for is all that hard work that went into it along with the magic. This is not easy. My kids are up with me. It's 10 o'clock at night. And we're printing labels. We're making oils. I'm talking to people. There are times my kids don't get to talk to me. There's times I don't get to do things. There's concerts that I miss and things like that, because I am working to help clients. And so, yeah, I do try to make that up when I'm not around for certain things with my kids, because I don't enjoy that. But somebody was asking about karma and reciprocity. Oh, I'll tell you the difference. Karma is Eastern in nature. It comes from Eastern religions that believe in reincarnation. Karma is how you are in this life will determine your next life. Not any different than Christianity. And I think it's Revelations. I don't know what book in the Bible it's in, but it tells you that how you look in heaven will be a reflection on how you lived your life on earth. And I made a joke in my Sunday school class. I'm like, well, they just going to find me in heaven how I died and my bra and my Depends. Talking about, I made it. Can I wash your feet? Every religion teaches you that the life that you live here is going to be reflected in your next life. That is karma. Reciprocity is what goes around comes around. By the bitch might get bit back. The difference, you see? Quite different and magnanimous in the difference of what those two things are. I'm so sick of people throwing around karma, hoodoo, goofer. Yeah. I'm sick of it too. But guess what? That's the thing. I could spend my life pissed off at uneducated motherfuckers. I really could. But really, what I'm going to do is for my people and people that tend to want to listen and understand and not be offended or fragile. It's fucked up.
It's not fucked up. I set it to the setting that you saved it to.
And
it cut through? It cut all the way to
well, it happens. It's a new mat, too. We're working on labels, y'all. So, yeah. So, that's the difference as it's been explained to me. Now, I'm not a member of an Eastern Asian religion, so I really couldn't tell you. But I do honor their gods, especially their prosperity gods, because they're amazing. But I'm not around here talking about practicing Hinduism. And that's another thing. I have people come to me, and one of the first things I'll say to you guys when I give you a divination is I'll say, okay, what deities do you venerate? What gods do you worship? And these people will start talking to me about what they like. And I'm like, boo-boo. That's like asking somebody, what's your religion, what you worship? Well, I kind of like Jesus. Do you worship him or not? Do you know how to worship him? You know, I had a young lady come to me talking about she was a devotee of Kali. I'm like, okay, say her mantra. And she couldn't. Y'all out here claiming and snatching every damn deity that you can, but you don't know how to venerate them. Why do you think people, well, the reason why you should be initiated, it's not about power. It's not about the ability to make more money. Now, if you're blessed, you'll get all those things. And that's the lovely thing about my religion is we don't look down on people with money. In fact, that's where we're trying to get. But we also have to give to get. Like they say, much is given, much is required. But, you know, you can't claim gods of a religion and not follow their rules. Don't hate the player, hate the game. If you don't like the fact that there are certain things in certain religions, don't initiate into said religions. I would not consider religions that had homophobia or misogyny or any of those things ingrained into them. And I did not choose to initiate into certain religions because of that. You know? I have Nordic ancestry, but you ain't gonna see me running up into Astra because of what the racists have done to a once beautiful religion. Well, some people say it's beautiful, some people say it's violent. It depends on who you ask. Oh God. Okay, can you put this back? This thing's so heavy, but they wanted to see my cards. It is heavy. I'm old. You're young and spry. You're 16. Of course, you can carry 40, 50 decks of cards or whatever's in there. But you know, people want to grab on to everything that they think is cool. I don't practice magic because it's cool, but it is. It's cool as hell. I practice magic because it works. And yeah, that's like your box of rocks. Tiffany comes every month to the Black Witch Circle with like 3 boxes, and she's got like always drives people. She's really great about carpooling. So she's got like, you ever see the queen walk in and then all of her subjects are behind her carrying her stuff? Tiffany got people helping her with her boxes because they're that heavy. But you know, there are things that you have to do in order to, I'm trying to find the best words for this. You know, there are certain rites of passage, there are certain requirements, just like in the Catholic Church. Catechism, baptism, all of that good stuff. You know, there are things in voodoo, there are things in Ifa, there are things in Candomblé, Lakumi. Depends on where you go and who you're doing it with. But if you're not down for all of that, don't do it. But the reality of the matter is, if you are not down with spiritual connection and divination, then don't be out here trying to do no magic. That's what it's all about. Connecting with spirit, getting the answers you need, and doing the most effective spell work possible. But if you're not communicating with spirit while you're doing it, prior to doing it, what you doing? Like, I mean, oh baby, what you doing? I don't understand it. And then don't expect me. I mean, I guess I could. I mean, I think one of the reasons why I've been able to be in this position that I didn't volunteer for, one of these days I'm going to write a book called The Reluctant Mambo, is because they knew I wouldn't take advantage of people. The spirits knew that I would not take advantage of people. So if you come to me, and I've literally had to cut clients off, ordering $200 worth of shit a week, knowing good and well you ain't using that. You just got to sit up on your altar looking pretty, and you ain't even lit your altar, and God knows when. Do not be that $20 girlfriend. In order for you to have effective magical workings with your ancestors and spirits, you have to have a relationship with them. That's another form of divination. Because when they talk to you, you'll know it. If you have established that relationship with them. But y'all know that girlfriend that comes by, can I borrow $20 till payday? Can I borrow $20 till payday? Until that's the only time you see that hoe. And you like, I don't have $20. Eventually your spirits are going to do that to you. I really can't help you. When's the last time you fed me? When's the last time you talked to me? When's the last time you said my name? I've told people over and over again, Elizabeth Ruth is not my name. It's my grandmother's name. Why? Because I wanted people to say Big Liz and Elizabeth Ruth and keep the spirit of my ancestor in everybody's mouth. Every magical person that buys something from me and likes it venerates my grandmother. The one who told me about seeing her first witch when she was 6 years old. The one who talked to the spirit of my cousin who's on here. Her parents, when they died, she saw them in the mirror. She talked to them before they left. Psychically, but she saw them. So what I'm trying to tell you is I come from people with these abilities, and a lot of the women in our family are alcoholics. And I definitely believe that the reason why is because they are trying to push that down. When you have constant voices in your head and they're trying to put you in a fucking mental hospital because they think you're crazy. See, that's why we're trying to get more magical mental health practitioners, because you can't go and tell every motherfucker that you're hearing voices in your head. They will put you away. Now you're seeing all of these posts about white people finding offerings and wondering what they were. You better leave that shit alone. You better get used to it, because we're leaving the church in droves. And we are going to be, you're going to see offerings everywhere. See, and that's the reason why they call alcohol spirits. Got a funny story to tell you. You know, yeah, you got to get off that booze, man. You know that kills us. You know, weed is the way to go. That's another reason why they don't want to legalize marijuana. You all do realize how incredible that is for your spiritual practice. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. When I first started practicing and I sat down and I talked to spirits and ancestors, I felt like an idiot. I'm like, people really think I'm crazy. Maybe I am crazy because ain't nobody talking to me. But get high and talk to spirits. They will talk to you. And you will be, I remember the first time that happened, I was like, whoa, slow, wait a minute. No. I'm going upstairs, y'all. Okay? Get off that alcohol. I've seen so much alcohol kill people in my family. Kill my grandmother, kill my mother. Listen, baby. 911, yeah, you gotta get a new job, Negro. That's your problem. You gotta get a job where you ain't being tested, or it's gonna be legal here pretty soon for everywhere, or move someplace where it's legal. Because I'm gonna tell you this, you all, or get a prescription. You're not supposed to be high all the time to practice magic either. So let's not talk about, I'm advocating substance abuse. That is not what I'm talking about. But peyote, marijuana, what's the other one? The one that makes you puke. Needless to say. Yeah, what is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's something like that. Say it again.
No, it's not. It's not that.
It's not. Come on. No, it's not Ashkawaga. What is it? It's something like that. Yes. Somebody's going to give it to us. But the reality of the matter is thank you. Congratulations on your sobriety. Congratulations. Because staying sober in a world where you just really would rather be fucked up on a regular basis is hard. One of the reasons why I never really started drinking tough. I've ruined enough of my life. Yeah, ayahuasca. There are lots of, there's mugwort, there's wormwood, there's lots of things other than weed that you can smoke. Huh? I know, it's ayahuasca. But there's lots of herbs and roots that you can smoke. Wormwood, mugwort, blue lotus, there's a lot of them that can help open up your psychic abilities. And let me tell you something. When you sober up, you will still remember what that felt like. So when you're walking around sober, as you should spend most of your time, you'll be like, whoa, I remember that from when I was having my conversation when I was in this altered state. My oldest daughter's boyfriend, we mixed some rabbit tobacco with his, and that he went to another place. Take me to another place. I'm sorry. He went to another place. Damiana, Massachusetts. Yes, baby. You can walk down the street with a joint in your hand, but that fucking weather, let me tell you about Massachusetts. I will never, ever go back to Salem. I will never say never, but I probably ain't never going back there because the weekend I went, the snowstorm of the century happened, and I had to drive 8 motherfucking miles in that, and my mambo called me, and I didn't even go into the hotel room. I sat in the car and lit the joint. I was just like, I can't. I thought I was going to die, y'all. I'm driving my little low-slung Honda Insight. I thought I was going to die. I have been in Chicago winters. I have survived the blizzard of 79 in Chicago. I have survived Snowmageddon in 2011. I survived the blizzard. I moved the weekend of the blizzard of 2000. Was it 1999? I never seen no shit like what I saw in Salem. Okay, it's cute, it's pretty, it's lovely when you walking in it. That's a place where they got to push the snow into the ocean. That's for real. They run out of room for the snow. Never seen no shit like that. I was like, Mambo, I'm sorry. I gotta go. I gotta finish smoking this. Because I almost died. I died 20 times. And I just want to go get high, go in my hotel room, and die again. And I will not drive in Salem in the middle of the winter ever again. If you catch me out in Salem, it's going to be 80 degrees in the middle of July. And since I'm going to be in New York, which story? Because, hey.
One with me. I'm pretty sure that's what everybody's been waiting for.
Oh, your story, yes. Okay.
You said part 2.
Oh, yes. Okay. So my daughter has to remind me because, when you get old, and weed does get rid of some of them brain cells, but I didn't need those brain cells. But in any case, yes, my daughter did a working before I ever did. Here, say hi. Say hello. Can they see you?
Mm-hmm.
That's Trinity. When I was a Christian, I named her after the Holy Trinity. But there's also other reasons why her name is Trinity. Well, let me tell you what she did. She had a bully. Okay, now I was friends with the owners of the voodoo store for years. They were my photography mentors. They're artistic mentors. And 4 years we were friends before I even started practices. Huh?
I said, so all these inside man.
And look at all the oil she made for you guys tonight. She's amazing. My children are amazing. So We make jokes about her because she's like the Marilyn Monster of the family. She doesn't really practice, but she gives a good reason. She learned it early on by this story that I'm about to tell you guys. She said there's too much responsibility in magic. I'm a kid. I don't think I ever loved her more when she told me that. Because I was just like, what kid can you don't say, come on down here and practice witchcraft with mommy? You know, kids be like, yeah, let's do it. But my daughter was like, there's too much responsibility in magic. I'm going to say this again. My daughter says there's too much responsibility in magic, which gets back to my original point about divination and doing what you're supposed to do. It's hot as hell in here.
No.
Yeah, it is.
I'm having heat flashes.
I'm having hot flashes. Get that black snake root. So, in any case, I'm opening my curtains because I'm on fire, literally and physically. And so I've respected my daughter's decision about magic, just like I would respect her decision about the church or anything else. I exposed her to different religions. It's her choice to make. Only rule in my house is that you have to believe in God or in the goddess. You have to believe in divine creation. Other than that, do you, boo? You also have to believe in evolution and science. Other than that, do you? I'm very proud of my daughter. She had a 4.0. My oldest daughter graduated with like a 3.85. They're smart kids. And my oldest daughter is really helping me with this business. But my youngest daughter practiced something before I ever did. And I'm going to tell y'all this story, and I've told it a million times, and if you search for it, maybe you might see it in my pictures. I was in her room, and I don't go in my daughter's room snooping, so I was just in there, and I was bringing in some laundry, and I looked up something that said, look up at her bookshelf, and there was a black gree on her bookshelf, and it made me remember what she did. So there was this girl who had been her best friend and was bullying her on the playground, and we went over to my friends who own the voodoo store, and we asked them what we could do to keep this girl from bullying my baby. Because I'd already called parents. I'd already clowned the school. They already had instituted this new bullying awareness program. This is the best grammar school in the state of Illinois, okay, that my daughter went to. And these kids were horrid. So they were like, oh, just make an enemy be gone, gree, and carry it on you. And we were like, that's it? And they were like, well, there's a catch. Because with our enemy be gone, grees, they put in a rusty coffin nail. And they stuck it in the middle of the gree. And after you activated the gree, you were to take that nail, and your target was to touch the nail. How many hours did we sit there talking about how we were going to get that girl to touch that nail? It was crazy. We sat there for hours trying to figure out how we were going to get this little heifer to touch this rusty nail. This child is smart. Because the first opportunity she got, she put it in that little bitch's boot. They had their boots by their desk because they had these little bitty small. Yeah, you put it in her boot.
We went to the JCC.
Oh, you went to the JCC for like gym.
And we took off all our snowsuits and our boots and everything.
Okay, so you put it in her boot though. I got that part right.
Yeah.
She put it in her boot. No, the lockers were too small. I thought the boots were next to their desk, but they were at the JCC, the Jewish Community Center, for gym because they didn't have a gym at their school. And that little girl at the entry was like, bloop, bloop, dropped that nail in that boot. That little heifer pulled that boot on. She was like, ow! And she reached in the boot. Not only did she touch the nail, she rolled it around in her hands, like looking at it like, what the fuck? How did this happen? Let me tell y'all, that girl immediately left my daughter alone. It got to the point where my daughter could not stand next to that little heifer or she would take off running. I would go and get my friends, some who were witches, some who weren't, and I would bring them up to the school, and she got mad at me because she was like, what, were you 8? You were really little, like 2nd or 3rd grade, and about 3rd or 4th grade. And I would tell her, you know how parents make kids do stuff like talent shows and shit? Some people make their kids do talent shows. I make my kids do magic. I said, go stand next to her. And she would go and stand next to that little heifer, and that little bitch would take off running like her ass was on fire. And we would just stand there and holler and laugh. But let me tell you something. As I said in part 1, spiritual work and magic are 2 completely different matters. Okay? Spiritual work is like magic on crack. Because you're not just using herbs and roots and maybe your ancestors. You're using highly elevated spirits. So let's stop and think about that. I often equate root work and aromatherapy to herbal medicine. Because it is. It's not just the same roots that we use for herbal medicine. Like, for example, for my rise up, anxiety and depression, I didn't go and look at the magical properties of the herbs that I was going to use. I looked at the medicine. So St. John's wort, echinacea, all those different things and things that smell like sunshine. As you open a bottle of Rise Up, and I have it in my oil burner right now, and it's like instant sun. And for people with seasonal affective disorder, it will make a difference in your life. I didn't create this. The goddess created this. But I'm able to take that and give it to other people to use. So you have to understand that magic is medicine. So white willow bark is the pain reliever that they use. It's part of the pain reliever that they use in aspirin. It's an active ingredient. I also use that in spells for healing or to relieve pain. So white willow bark is in Heal My Heart. So you got to start to make these correlations between magic and life, what they call real life, the matrix. I call it the matrix. And see how you can weave those things in with your life. If you start to do that, if you get an ancestor altar, if you start to talk to spirits, you know, whether you're smoking wormwood weed or doing it straight cold sober, it don't matter. There's alcohol all in our spirituality as well. Okay. But everything should be done in moderation, including cursing and hexing. Everything should be done with foresight. You know, if I know I'm going to go out and party with my friends and get drunk, guess what? I'm catching an Uber there and back. That's foresight. That's planning. The same thing is with magic. Did you get your Uber, or are you going to drive drunk? So that's what I really like, the meaning of all this ranting and raving, and I apologize because you know ain't never a dull moment here, even when it's just me and the kids. We got a lot of stuff going on. I hope you all appreciated the comic relief that I gave you tonight. But we're all going to bed early. We're trying to commit to better sleeping, better eating, better living. But, you know, be yourself. Stay out of these Facebook groups. Stop worrying about the cult of personality. Think about all the time that you spent in a hoodoo, voodoo, occult Facebook group where you could be reading Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy. You could be studying Mojo Working by Dr. Hazard. You could be reading. You could be working. There's no way. That was one of the reasons why I came out of that whole white workers community and messing around. And I don't mess around with a lot of black folks in the community either. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's no way in God's green earth that you could be doing the work of spirit and you spend all day on Facebook arguing with somebody you don't even fucking know. Go get your life. And when you get your life, you will find that things fall into place. You'll find that you won't have to curse people. You'll find that people will curse themselves. You will find that you will be able to make your life and the life of people around you that much better. That's the goal here. You coming in this trying to rule the world, it ain't gonna happen, mere human. And that's another thing. The difference between root work and spiritual work. My book recommendations are in my customer group, Big Liz Conjure. I have a reading list already. Join my group, answer the questions, or you will not be allowed entry, because it is not a group for general hoodoo discussion. Because I detest these groups because things go out of control and I don't have time to monitor that shit. I do not want anybody in my group advertising their products. That's dumb. Okay? The reading list is on my website partly. The reading list that's on my website is under 201. Those are the books you need for my class. A more extensive reading list is in my customer group, Big Liz Conjure. What you are allowed to do in that group is, of course, tell me if you like my products. Tell me if you don't. Tell me if there's something you wish I changed. Something if you wish I do. I'm open to any type of suggestions. But also, 4 questions. I need to do a spell regarding such and such. What should I use? We'll help you. But the first question I'm going to ask you is, did you do a divination? Because if you ain't done a divination, that means that you ain't... I have another story for you that involves marijuana. Melissa, are you still on? Because I think you know this story. No, this was not me. This was my Uncle Carl. God rest his soul. My Uncle Carl passed away when he was 19. He died at the wheel. He was drunk. He fell asleep. But prior to my uncle passing away, he was a pothead too. And I had one of them big ass, beautiful ass Schwinn trucks that was given to me by somebody my grandmother cleaned for. And I was I Sanaya's age? I might have been 3 or 4 years old. My feet couldn't touch the pedals, right? So is that rise up? Oh, that's clap back. I must have been 3, 4 years old, and I just had to ride this bike, y'all. Now listen, let's put bike with magic, okay? So every time I talk about this bike, I want you to think magic, all right? So I'm 3, 4 years old, and I gotta have this bike. I gotta ride this bike. I gotta ride that bitch till the wheels fall off, because this bike is too beautiful just to sit there, despite the fact that I ain't been on nothing but a tricycle my entire goddamn life. Your tricycle being your mental state that is locked. We only use about 2% of our brains. We don't access our spiritual. We don't. Is that a lie? So that whole documentary is a lie? So how much of our brains do we use?
All of it.
Okay, so what about the spiritual components that don't get used? Where do those come from? Are those not part of your brain? There are a lot of people that could have psychic abilities if they exercise. The brain's a muscle, right? Right? I think that there's some people that can't.
You use all of your brain, but it's not always active.
Okay. 10%. Somebody said 10%. Bottom line is, we're not accessing all the parts of our brain.
Dolphins do.
And
Like,
dolphins are cool as shit.
All of your brain.
I understand that, because you probably fry or some shit like that. But y'all are interrupting my story. God. This is why I can't do this. But I heard that somewhere. But I know this. From living with y'all, I know you don't use all the parts of your brain, okay? And I know that I fried a good portion of mine away. So you don't use all your brain. Bottom line is, so I got this bike. I gotta ride this bike. I loved my Uncle Carl. My Uncle Carl, I loved fucking around with me and my cousin Melissa. He used to slap us and stuff. He was crazy. I mean, I'm gonna admit it. I loved him, but the bro was nuts, okay? He used to love teasing us. One time he hung me upside down by my feet. One time he sprayed beer on me. My grandmother made him repaint the parlor because he fucked it up. My Uncle Carl was nuts, but I loved him. And so his high ass, this man painted his bedroom black. Now, it was the 70s, but he painted his bedroom black. So my grandparents wasn't thinking about that. Remember when kids used to just go play on their own and we didn't have to take them on play dates and shit? Remember when we just used to run all over and run free? So my grandparents wasn't playing with me. They was busy being retired, cooking, doing whatever they do. And so I begged and begged and begged this Negro to help me get on this bike. And I guess, you know how you get high, you don't want nobody messing with your buzz? This man obviously got tired of me messing with his buzz. So he said, okay, I'm going to take you outside and I'm going to let you ride your bike. Equate all of this, bicycle equals magic. Okay? Because for me, at 3, 4 years old, bicycle did equal magic. He says, I'm about to do this. I'm going to tie this piece of string to the bumper of the bicycle, and I'm going to hold you up. I was 3 or 4, y'all, and I went for the okie doke. And I was like, okay, because I was finally getting somebody to go out with me and take me on this bike. This bike that I've been dying to get my hands on. So I believed that a piece of string would hold up my bicycle. And it did, until I turned around and looked back. Remember, in magic, you ain't supposed to look back, right? I turned around and looked back. Not only was that motherfucker not holding the string anymore, he was gone, y'all. And the next thing I knew, I hit the motherfucking creek embankment, which was this big-ass chain link fence with a mountain of a big-ass piece of concrete. And I'm going to have to tell you a story about my mother fucked herself up on it when she was in high school. And I got up, and I felt my nose running. I didn't feel any pain. And my grandmother ran out onto the front porch and could see me, and I could see the horrified look on my grandmother on Liz's face. And I ran my hand across because I thought my nose was running, and I was full of blood. And I was like, Grandma, I broke my arm. I called her Mama. Mama, I broke my arm. I thought I broke my fucking arm. I'd scraped up the entire front of my face. This tooth, is this one? Permanently crooked. Because I invested in braces for my kid, not myself. And my grandparents were so fucking pissed that I remember very distinctly, that was back in the days with no seatbelts. I was sitting in the front seat of the station wagon between my grandmother and my grandfather. My Uncle Carl was sitting in the back with his suitcase. And they sent him to live with his friend for several weeks because if they did not, they would have killed his ass. Okay? My grandparents were not big into spanking, but when the adults get so mad that they don't even want to see you, there's a problem. So understand that the story that I told you was not just for comic relief, so y'all can talk about this shit later and make fun of me. There is an analogy here. Imagine, I fucked my face up. Oh, baby. Oh, I was fucked, y'all. I remember not even being able to drink water because I could taste, like the scab or whatever. But the mouth heals quickly. But the thing is the same thing. Magic without divination is like riding a bike without training wheels, and your feet cannot touch the pedals. You will fall. You will fuck yourself up. And you might even have permanent damage. Okay? So, I'm going to go to bed now. We're not going to go to bed. I'm going to go eat, do something, and relax, and then I'm going to go to bed. But keep in mind that you have to use divination. Now, you may get to the point where your psychic abilities are so in tune, and there are some people who are born like this. You can just know. The spirits will come. They will talk to you. There are certain people like that. But the average bear, no. So stop just deciding to pull magic out the crack of your ass and really devote yourself to the practice. It's a practice for a reason. It has rules. It has regulations. And depending on which practice that you're in, if you want to go do your own thing, that's cool. Don't call it voodoo. Don't call it hoodoo. You might not even want to call it magic because there are rules to the game. And you need to learn how to play them. You also learn the rules so that you can bend them in your own personal gnosis and make magic your own. Because that's the most important thing. Because if it's not yours, then it's not good for you. But keep yourself, and I'm not a love and light person, but keep yourself, especially in the beginnings of practicing magic, in a you mode. Or an us mode. Of prosperity, of happiness, of peace, of development. And then when you have to, because you have practiced this so much, because magic is just really what makes a container spell a vinegar jar versus a sweetening jar is what you put in it. But if you know how to make a sweetening jar, you certainly know how to shake a motherfucker up in a vinegar jar now, right? And there's more to container magic than just jars. And I teach that in my container magic class. So, you'll get more of this and more high detail in classes that you take. And if you come here for Root Work 201, because there is something about hands-on work. You can read and read and read, but if you don't ever do anything, you ain't practicing shit. And that's why I'm telling you that it is impossible for people to... I'm telling you, when I first started practicing magic, I was all up in these groups all the time. Listening, lurking, putting stuff in. And when I started saying stuff, people started hating because they realized I knew what I was talking about. That I was a fraud and I was this and I was that. You cannot learn anything listening to other people all day long that probably know less than you do. So I like Bill Gates, spend an hour a day learning something new. I don't care what it is, but especially magic. But don't be out here spending your money. And, people are like, oh, but then people won't buy things. They'll buy things. But they will buy things from me, and they will know that they're doing what's in their best interest rather than just some off-the-cuff shit they learned off the internet. You have to learn how to look at spell books and learn from example. That's how we learn. But that doesn't mean you got to copy a spell word for word. You can take the pieces that you need, leave out what you don't. And then when you go into a higher level to become a priest or a priestess and initiate, you're going to be taught certain things that you're not going to share with anybody. You're going to use it. You're going to use it for your clients. But just like, that's like asking a surgeon, hey, come show me how to do open heart surgery. Everybody wants witches and workers and mambos and gods and priests and priestesses to give away shit. But we don't ever ask a heart surgeon, hey, come over here and teach me heart surgery for free. Makes sense, right? You all be blessed. Stay black. Stay hydrated. Stay moisturized. Be greasy. Bye.